Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. How we doing tonight? Welcome to the program. On this Wednesday, who's hopping on tonight? Hey, Adele and Dazzle are with us. That's wonderful. And Adele, you are first, number one. Kelly, Albuquerque in the house. Albuquerque is in the house. You keep on opening old videos. Tamika. Well, I'm a little more ish tonight. I'm not really my late-ish, but I did try to get dinner in tonight before I went live. You know, I do like to do that when I can. It does make the rest of the evening just a tad bit easier. Happy Wednesday. It's actually happy hump day, Tamika. We're doing it. We're getting over the hump this week. It's hump day. Dazzle's snoozing. Max is wandering the kitchen. He's like, I know there is chicken in the kitchen. Chicken in the house, and Max is on the hunt for it. That dog will move for chicken. And that was one of the smorgasbord of leftovers tonight. Eat our way through the refrigerator tonight is what we are doing, and there was chicken as part of that. Kitty, how are you? Welcome to the program. Good to have you here tonight. What is everybody grateful for this Wednesday hump day? What are you grateful for tonight on this Wednesday night? Hey, Heidi, how are you? How everything coming up, Daisies? How's things at the Daisy? How are you tonight? It is good to have you here live with us tonight. Pleasure to have you tonight with us. Ooh, excuse me. What is everybody grateful for this Wednesday? Tell me about it. Let me know what's happening in your world tonight. What is happening out there? I need to know. The world needs to know. We need to know. We all want to know. We want to celebrate your successes today. Grateful for beautiful weather. I like beautiful weather. We're supposed to have a couple of really nice days here coming up, I think. If I recall correctly, the weather is supposed to, we're supposed to get some of this warmer weather that everybody's talking about. Sunday's supposed to be 70. Wow. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you, Jana, that the auction ends well. That is one of the things. Beautiful weather in Michigan today. They said things would get better after the election, and the weather is one of them things. That's great, Rose. I love it when people say you make their day. You make my day. You made my day just by saying that. That is awesome. Love hearing that. You know, that is absolutely terrific. That is that kind of feedback. And there's a lot of good news tonight. So I'm keeping our good themes tonight. Hang on one second. But that is great. I love that kind of good news. What happened with the asteroid? I think it burned up. As far as I know, I did not follow that. That is sort of hit the back seat in the news, Kelly. But it was fun to talk about. I fully admit that the asteroid was very fun to talk about. And yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Andy again tonight. So we're going to talk a lot about Andy. Tamika's feeling not woefully behind, and she's very grateful for that. I'm glad to hear that, Tamika. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love hearing good news like that. I love hearing good news like that. Well, I've already given a spoiler to tonight's show. Kitty pulled it out of me there. So I've already given you a spoiler. So let's get this program started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. If you're following along in the book, tonight we are on page 146. Hey, Sylvia's with us. Welcome, Sylvia. 146 tonight. Good morning. Eyes up. Hearts up. Mind sharp. Compassion on full blast. Sip your coffee. Okay, let's go. That is our good morning tonight. All right. Let's see what I got for you tonight. I got some funny stuff. I got some Andy stuff. We got to continue our Andy discussion. And I got a couple other useless tidbits for you. And so let me get to work here. I like this. It's better to disappoint with the truth. I'm tongue-tied tonight. It's better to disappoint with the truth than please with a lie. It's better to disappoint with the truth than please with a lie. Of course you've got great stuff. Of course you've got great stuff. No. I'm going to cover that tonight. Hang on a second. Hang on. We're getting organized here. I didn't expect Andy to be a two-parter, but it really is. So we're going to have some good stuff tonight. And I got to cover that. Okay. Okay, I've got organized here. You watched it. You watched. That is organization in progress there. And then I dropped stuff. I tried. Well, I didn't make a big mess. Okay, guys, here we go. I liked this just because I'm glad they get some of their own and get held accountable. Amazon and Williams-Sonoma settled their legal battle over intellectual property. Settled a lawsuit that the home goods retailer filed against Amazon. The original complaint against Amazon, Williams-Sonoma alleged that Amazon counterfeited its trade name and trademarks on its website and infringed on them by selling its own competing knockoffs under Amazon's Rivet brand. Amazon, of course, denied the allegation, wrote Williams-Sonoma a check. So you decide who was right on that one. In a change for things, hey, Ellen, great to have you here live. Live, Ellen. Hope you and Mike are well. Hope things are good. We do need to catch up. Dollar General. This is kind of interesting, and just to be aware of it, is having a pre-holiday sales event on November 13th, which is, I think, a week from Friday. Yes, it's Friday the 13th this month. So, they're having a pre-holiday event on November 13th with specials across its nearly 17,000 stores and online. That's kind of interesting because it's a single day event, and single day events draw crowds. So this is the first holiday one that I've seen that's directly talking about drawing people in store for a one-day event. Most of the things we're hearing from the major retailers, okay, and Dollar General has 17,000 stores, okay, is that they are planning things, all the same promotions online in store, spread out in store, promotions and dates, and spread over longer periods of time so that you're not door busting. Dollar General is trying to essentially door bust it on November 13th. So that is a change from that. Laurel! Great to have you here. Suzanne and MJ, good to have you here. Cheers. Again, what I've talked about is keeping things positive in your holiday messaging. Holiday messaging, people want nostalgia and positive, and Amazon wants to be the center of that. And their ad is the Show Must Go On holiday ad campaign. It features a 17-year-old French ballet dancer, and their character confronts multiple obstacles. Anybody here confront multiple obstacles this year? To perform for her loved ones and community. The ad follows the ballet dancer as she practices, but in an ad titled "The Show Must Go On," her family and neighbors gather to watch her performance. So, it's about getting that feel good. So what are you doing to make people feel good? And that's going to bring us again back to the Andy story, which we'll cover again in just I'm gonna come right back to it, but I had to let you know some of these other things that are going on. I just got water right now, Suzanne and MJ, but cheers with the water. It's getting harder to find Nikes, and that's just how Nike wants it. I've covered this before, okay, and Nike stirred up and is ending its partnerships and working on more of a direct consumer model and really controlling who has access to the Nikes and making them harder to find. And ending long-time partnerships like Frank's Sport Shop in the Bronx, which has served the community for nearly a century and carried Nike products for decades. And they carried them when they had nothing, when nobody knew what a Nike was. This store carried them. And they're dropping people like flies. But what does that mean to you on the resale market? Okay, think about that. If Nikes are becoming harder to find, okay, that means the price can go up. Okay, that is part of what Nike is doing in controlling it and controlling their distribution. And it's part of what you can do in your stores with better Nikes and in better condition. So think about that when you're pricing some Nikes to go out, of what you can do in your store. Maybe they can fetch a couple extra dollars because you have them. So just think about that, and that's the takeaway from that article. Okay, so then before I get to Andy again, before we talk more Andy, before we talk more, Andy, for those of you, we don't have, this isn't a problem for most of us, but the Federal Reserve, along with the coin shortage, is suspending holiday currency ordering in 2020. Okay, so this is to all banks, okay, nationwide. The Federal Reserve is suspending holiday currency ordering in 2020. And so banks are unable to fulfill requests for new currency this holiday season. Just so you're aware of it, is for businesses that give cash bonuses, okay, at the holidays. A lot of companies would order fresh cash, to give out as bonuses for the holidays. And they would get fresh cash and new currency. I never really thought about it when I did cash bonuses. The bank's like, oh, you're giving bonuses. They would just give it to me. But big companies would actually order it so that they had enough new $50 bills or new $100 bills or new whatever that they were giving out, and thus be able to give that. But that is suspended. Yes, the grandmas will be very disappointed. The grandmas will be disappointed. But you cannot order new currency. But I'm like, you guys have always given me. You guys force it on me most of the time. You're like, oh, you're giving gift money, and you guys, go and get me new currency. So, but that was in the days also when you could go in branch. Our branches are of our bank. There are banks in our area that the branches are open. Our particular bank has not opened their branches yet. They're still keeping everybody safe. There's some people that are really bitching about it, but they're doing a good job, a good job of keeping everybody safe, and so for that I'm thankful. Yeah, that is what they're doing. So that brings us back to Andy, okay, tonight, and talking about Andy. And before I go into my Andy update, because this is sort of, not everybody that's catching us live may have yeah, exactly. And $2 bills. $2 bill. Well, I like the $2 bills, but the $2 bills, kidding. So I know there are people on here tonight that were not here last night live and may not have had a chance to catch the replay from last night yet. And not that I want to spoil last night's show for you, but this topic is continuing from last night, so I got to cover it because it's just gotten more legs. Oh, I gotta share this first before I cover Andy. I gotta share this first. This was in our home decor store. So in our home decor store today, we had a consignor bring in something that we have never had happen before. Okay? Never had happened before. Even my peanut gallery is waiting to hear, what did we get today that has never happened before? They got a coffee pot brought in that was full of coffee. A consignor transported a coffee pot that was full of old coffee. It's brand new. It's never been used. Yes, needless to say, the coffee went spilled all over the counter too. But when they tried to bring it in, but yes, I just thought that was hilarious. When I'm reading the end of day message of things that happened in store today, and I'm reading, yeah, well, that wasn't as bad, Kitty, as we found. I mean, that was bad, but also today, and I gotta sent a picture of it in my warehouse. They found had left their milk in like the jeans of a drop-off. Okay, and it was everywhere in the basket. It was gross. It was bad. It was curdled milk. That was bad. So coffee spilt everywhere and bad milk today. But I did the coffee one. I'm like, really? I mean, you know, I am proud of my staff. They declined the coffee maker. They did decline the coffee maker. Okay, so let's talk about Andy again, because this was my challenge to you last night. My challenge was actually for you to, what will you do to Andy your community? Okay, I believe is the quote, is the way I'm being quoted. Hang on a second, let me just confirm that. Yes, Andy our community is the quote that I gave you yesterday on the challenge. See, I got to remember these things too. Those of us that were not with us live last night, you need to know what I mean by that. So who is Andy and why does he matter? Andy is this guy. Andy's this guy right here. Okay? He is a barber. He is a barber in Toronto. Okay? And yeah, they have barbers over in Canada too. And he had been staring out his barbershop window and contemplating what COVID has done to the neighborhood he loves. It's not just the neighborhood he loves where his barbershop is, okay? It's, you know, we say sometimes where our businesses are, but Andy lives right there in the neighborhood. He was actually grew up in the neighborhood. This is his home. These are his people. These other businesses in the community are his place, okay? He cares and cares for them like they are family. And you know, he's like, what do we do to save the businesses in our community? Okay? I mean, the reality of the pandemic is real. Okay? It has spared no one. Okay? Businesses are hurting. You know, all over. There's it has spared no one. Okay? It really has spared no one in business. And especially small business. And so what Andy did to speed up my story, although I covered it in much more detail last night, so if you haven't watched last night, watch it. At least watch the last 10 minutes or so, or 10, 15 minutes where I talk about Andy. Because I talk about the struggle of his neighborhood, the struggle that he had within himself, and his fight to do something to save his neighborhood. So what Andy decided to ultimately do is to give anybody that brings him a receipt from another local business. So go spend money in another local business, bring me your receipt, and get $5 off a haircut. Okay, I mean, Andy is in a business, being a barber, okay, that his revenue is limited by his time. Okay, it's not only by the customers that walk in the door, but it is limited by time. Okay, he can only do so many haircuts in a day. Okay, I mean, it takes time to do my style and everything else. I know I make it look simple, but it takes time, people. Okay, so there's only so many haircuts he can do in a day. But to encourage you to shop within the community, Andy's saying, go shop someplace else. Go eat at a restaurant down the street. Bring me the receipt from your purchase. Save $5 off your haircut. And I love that. So my challenge to you last night, okay, what I said last night is, how can you Andy your community? What can you do Small Business Weekend? What can you do? Hey, Sarah. What can you do in your community for a period of time? What can you do it for November? What can you do from now to the rest of 2020? What can you offer your community to shop within your community? It doesn't have to be big. Andy is giving $5 off a haircut, okay? And it's Canadian, so it's not even, like real money. Okay. So, so it's not the amount, okay? Maybe it's an earrings. Maybe you give a pair of earrings, okay? Maybe it's you give an extra % on their consignment. What can you do to encourage people to shop within your community? Okay. Maybe, back to Kitty and bankers and everything else, I'm a fan of the $2 bill, okay? It's an old thing with my father. I always have a $2 bill on me. Well, in my wallet, there's always a $2 bill, okay? So I always have a $2 bill. It was a thing my father always did. His father, there's no real rhyme or reason to it except for they've always done it, and I continue that tradition on. But maybe you use the $2 bill as a discount and say, take a second look at the small businesses in your neighborhood and we'll give you $2 off. Whatever it is, to encourage that and create a poster board of all these receipts of people shopping all these other small businesses to Andy your community, to Andy up for your community. And I gotta say, when I covered this last night, okay, and if you did not see last night's episode, you really have to go back and watch at least the last 10-15 minutes whenever I started covering this, because you need to see the full story. So the response by you guys has been amazing already. Amazing, okay? It started with longtime watcher, okay, avid tuner in, Kelly from Your Other Closet in Albuquerque. She actually wrote Andy. She tracked down the real Andy, okay, and sent Andy a letter, okay, and Kelly told Andy then that she heard about our promotion during this show, and that I challenged you all to find a way to Andy your community. And she thanked him for the effort that he's making and appreciate the inspiration you've provided to do something more for her community. And Kelly is going to follow the lead and offer $5 off a purchase if the customer shows a receipt from another local business, as a nice way to say thank you to your community for supporting me during this crazy time. And as I work too much to frequent other businesses, I can encourage others to do it. Andy actually wrote back. And said, I love this. Thank you so much. I've had dozens of messages like this one from businesses adopting my idea. All I ask in return is you mentioned at your neighborhood barbershop so we can gain more traction online. I love the Andy our community. That he had a good laugh with that one. Thank you and keep up the good work. So I just love that Andy responded. So Kelly is jumping right on with $5. Kitty, for the month of November, is giving a $3 discount to anyone bringing in a receipt from other Rochester businesses. $3. Okay? I mean, what can you do in your community? Okay? But it's just getting that word out. And she's already had other businesses reach out and thank her for doing this. Okay? Businesses in town reaching out and thanking her for doing this. You know, there's something about the $2 one. It really isn't the amount. It doesn't. The amount of what you do is irrelevant. Okay, okay. The amount is so irrelevant. Okay, it is the message you are sending. It is the reminder in their head. Yeah, I want to go get takeout from that restaurant. I want to shop at this other store. I haven't gotten there. Okay? Here's my receipt. I mean, just think of the messaging you get just by creating a bulletin board behind you. Okay? The top part of the receipt of where other people shopped. Well, that's true. He does use a U in neighborhood. It's a Canadian thing, Kelly. I can't, we can't get them to use real money, and we can't get them to spell things correctly. That is correct. They do use that. It's a Canadian thing. We love our Canadians. I saw, if you haven't seen the meme that's going around, all Americans are supposed to get an emotional support Canadian to help us get through these tough times and this political climate that we're in. And that made me smile too. But, it is about, yeah, but Suzanne, you Andy them, okay? You Andy them by being the leader in your community. You don't Andy them by trying to contact them and get them to hop onto the same promotion. Okay, this is where you and MJ lead. Okay, and you become the leader, and others will follow suit. You be the leader. You be the leader of your community, okay? My whole theme this month is leadership in November, okay? If you haven't read my November newsletter article, pick up the NARTS newsletter, okay? It's all about leadership. This is about leading in your community, you being the leader. It's not about getting 10 other stores to do it. It's about you doing it for your community. And you don't have to do the way Kitty did it, or the way Kelly did it, or the way Andy did it. Okay, this is how you Andy your community. Okay, how can you Andy your community? And remember, Andy is also from Toy Story. He's always the good guy. Everybody likes Andy. Okay, he's always doing good. This is about doing good in your community. Okay. I am not affiliated with Disney Plus. If you need Disney Plus so you can watch Toy Story, so you know what Andy is in Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I don't want to be a spoiler, but in 4 he gets the girl. Okay? But this is about you leading and doing what you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be dollars. It can be earrings. It can be a tchotchke. It can be anything. It's the concept, okay, of both giving the reminder to shop local, okay, that it does matter, okay, it does matter, and so shop local, and help other businesses. Okay, if they shopping with you and to get the discount, they already had to do something with another local businesses. That's 2 businesses in town that are benefiting. Okay, and I hope it's a 3rd and a 4th and a 5th. Okay, it is like the chain at Starbucks where I paid for the lady behind me. And the lady at Starbucks was like, whoa, that lady is, got a $10 order behind you. And I'm like, do it. Put it on the card. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you here. Put it on the card. Okay? And that went around the building. Okay? Pay it forward. Pay it forward. You can do it, Suzanne. I know you can. Sip up cheers a little more, and you and MJ will come with what you're comfortable doing, whatever that is. It doesn't matter. The dollar, the actual dollar value cost to you is irrelevant, because it is the symbol of what you are doing. People will not care about the dollar. They won't be like, oh, she only gave me $3 or $2 or $5 or $1 or a percentage. It will not matter. It will not matter what the message it sends for the community at whatever it is that you are doing. Okay? You know, it could be a free balloon you give them. I don't know. I'm making stuff up here.
Okay, but numbers guy, how much is it worth to get an extra visit of a customer?
Right. Okay, so my peanut gallery said, again, return visits. So, again, lifetime value of a customer, LTV, people. LTV, okay? So, this creates not only another reason that people are shopping with you, okay, but another reason they will love you beyond this moment, okay? When you do this, I mean, there are people that will now get their hair cut with Andy forever. Okay? There are other businesses in Rochester, Illinois, where Kitty announced this today on her pages. Okay? There are other businesses that were like, wow, thank you, that never shop resale, that will go in and shop with Kitty. Okay? That are so appreciative of the gesture Kitty is doing. Okay? These are the things that matter. This is what's going to drive our way out of this and help lift our entire community. You know, Andy's carrying the whole troop. Mr. Potato Head, Buzz Lightyear, he's carrying them all through it. Okay? You're doing it because it's all about your friends. What's the song? You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. That is what Andy's saying. Okay, and I'm not going to sing it here for you, but you've got a friend in me. And in small business, you've got a friend in me. So what are you going to do to Andy your community this holiday season? You get to choose what you do. You get to choose the period of time that you do it for. Okay? You get to hop on the Andy Challenge because you've got a friend in me. And if you did not see, if you're just hearing about this for the first time tonight, okay, don't only rewind tonight, but watch last night where we first talked about this, okay, because it's an episode worth repeating, okay? It is worth the time to watch at least the last 10-15 minutes when I talked about Andy in your community last night. Do not miss that. Catch it. Go to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running the store and catch it. You can do it. You know, this video and everything we talk about here, even Andy in your community, and you've got a friend in me, go over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. They're all there. All the resources, all the files that I talk about, everything goes over there by noon the next day. There's a direct link right there on that page to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where all these videos go by noon the next day, so you can like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when a new one drops. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Hang on a second. Oh, I like the idea of that, Rose, of getting other business owners together and holding a drawing, you know, doing a bingo type card of what businesses in town you visited. But that takes more organization. You got to keep in mind, Rose, the frustrating or hard thing with something like that is getting the other businesses involved. getting the cards printed, getting the stamps, getting the things done. And most businesses have a hard enough time remembering to unlock the door today. Where did I leave my keys? Where are my glasses? What am I doing with that? Okay, so this gives you an opportunity to be a leader, gives you an opportunity to connect with your community, all without actually depending on another business to do a thing. But they will follow your lead. They will follow your example. When you are the leader, they will follow your example. Okay? Oh, Carolyn, I'm so glad that you got something from our shop. I will have to look up and see what you got. That's great. I'm glad you were able to purchase something. But that will, being that leader. I am here live in the Nards private Facebook group every night at more 8 than ish. When you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night, with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. If you weren't here at the beginning of the program, our Good Morning tonight is on page 146. Good morning. Eyes up. Hearts up. Mind sharp. Compassion on full blast. Sipping my coffee. Okay, let's go. Our good night tonight. Good night. Eyes shut. Hang on, I can't read the rest of the page if I do that. Calm. Empathy on full blast. I'm not sipping tea, not even if the book tells me to. That's one of Neil's no's. Sorry. Okay, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. Yes, I am. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party again. I promise you, and I will be there with you when we can. I promise you for that. But until then, be thinking of how you're going to Andy your community. How are you going to Andy your community? Because you got a friend in me. Ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow at more 8 than ish, know that you and you, but most especially you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Have a great night. It's time for dessert.